Welcome to Explorer's Guide Maritime Academy help videos on your applications. This video here is an overview of all the different parts that goes into your application. And as I've been told by many of my students, the application processes can be actually more challenging than the classes themselves. So this video will go through each of the items that are required. The other videos will go through those in more detail, uh, enough detail that you should be able to complete your applications without a problem. So again, we are talking about a commercial business involving a vessel that's carrying passengers for hire. You need a merchant mariner credentials. Again, this is on federal waters. You're getting paid to do it. These are the things that will get you your license. Actually, there's no license. We refer to a license. It's called a merchant mariner credential. A new one is issued every time you renew. And in the interim, if you upgrade to a master's or whatever, it is you get a sticker to place in your book. This is what it looks like. It looks like a passport. It's red. It is required to be on board anytime you are acting in the capacity as a captain. And the picture you have on there is a picture that you get through the TWIC. The TWIC we'll talk about a little bit later. So that photo is then sent to the Coast Guard, in which they will then put that on your license, on your app credentials. These are the items that we have. The application, the TWIC, medical, drug test, merchant mariner fees, your sea service, and your first aid CPR. And then after the class, you'll get a course certificate. So the first one is the application. These are all on Coast Guard forms. They came out with new forms about about 2 years ago now. So make sure you have the current forms. They expire sometime in 2021. So this is CG 719B. It's a fillable application form. And again, I will go through those in a little bit. The next thing is your transportation worker ID card. In the past, we had to go down to the police station, get fingerprinted. The FBI did the background check. We had to send them a copy of our birth certificate to prove that we're a U.S. citizen. This is now all handled under the TWIC. Medical certificate. You will get, along with your license, a small little card that's your medical certificate. That has to be valid and current to make your license, your credentials valid and current. And it's a 10-page form. It can be done by any local physician. It doesn't have to be done by a DOT doctor or anything else. And again, we'll cover that in detail in a little bit. The next is the drug test. This is a SAMHSA 5-panel drug test. Everybody in the industries, be it truck driving, wherever, if they talk about a drug test, this is the test they are talking about. The only difference between this for truck drivers and others is that it has to be reviewed by a medical review officer and have that stamp on them. And again, most clinics will do it, provided they have access to an MRO. Merchant mariner fees. Your initial fee, which goes into the state, goes into the federal treasury. Coast Guard does not see this money. Is $145 for issuance, review, and issuance fee. Sea service, which can get kind of confusing, and we'll cover a number of ways to document it, as well as the various forms there. But you have to have at least 90 days of sea service on a motorized vessel or sail auxiliary within the last 3 years of the date of your application. This is called recency. And then below, we'll talk about how many days you have to get an inland license. They all start with 360 days since age 16. And again, 90 in the last 3 years, which is part of that 360. And again, we'll cover that in more detail. First aid CPR, you have to have a first aid course that's less than 1 year and a CPR card that is currently valid. And again, there's 3 places to get that. There is American Heart, Red Cross, and we use ECSI, Emergency Care and Safety Institute, and there are a couple other ones out there, but they all have to be approved by the National Maritime Center. And then your course certificate. If you're going to the regional exam center, excuse me, and take your exams, that's where you would do it. You pay them the $95. You take the 4 exams, and then that information would be sent to the NMC for issuance of your license. Or you go through a company that has an approved courses. Coast Guard does not approve the company; they approve the courses. And companies such as ours, Explorer Sky, will issue a certificate valid for 1 year from the date of issuance. You make sure it's sent to the Coast Guard, and that will qualify for doing the exams. Now, to go on, applications can be sent in a number of ways. They can be faxed in, they can be mailed in. You make copies of it, mail them in. Yes, copies can be used. Or the method I prefer is scanning them and then emailing them into the Regional Exam Center. They cannot go into the National Maritime Center. They have to go into one of the 16, 18 regional exam centers. We tend to use Toledo up here. They deal more with the people up in the Upper Great Lakes. Otherwise, our California classes go to Oakland. That's where they're sent in. So if you're going to scan them, it's very important that you do it at 200 dots per inch DPI or 300 and grayscale. If you do it in color, files will be way too large that will not go through. And if you do it in auto, they will make outlines in black and white and they will not be readable. It's 200 to 300 DPI grayscale. Make sure your file is less than 8 megabytes. If you have to break them down, in one case, I broke the guy's application down into 3 files to keep it under that amount. Again, you can send that into any of the regional exam centers, asking for your license, your name, and last 4 your social is what they need. They will then forward that on to the National Maritime Center. Once your application goes in, and it's been in there for a little bit, if you want to check on it, you can use Homeport, which I do not like because it's not kept up to date. The best way to do is give them a call at the NMC, National Maritime Center, and it's 888-427-5662. And you go to the gal that you're going to get a hold of and just ask her what the status is of your application. All she can do is reads what's in the file, what's on the computer. She's not the reviewer, but they can keep you up to date on what's going on. If for some reason it's not yet been received, then it's important to back check with the Regional Exam Center to find out why. Now we're going to go through each of the parts that we just covered and explain them in far more detail.